Okay, it's that time once again for my winter weather outlook. I start looking at things weeks in advance, looking at all kinds of different information to come up with what I think is going to happen in a winter season here in the Valley. I'm going to go over a couple of those things first, and then we'll kind of dive into the actual winter weather outlook. But I've also wanted to thank our sponsors again this year. We'll talk more about that at the end, where they're going to have some information for you, some ice scrapers and things like that. You can check that out. But in the meantime, let's talk about a couple things that I look at. Snowpack right now. As of right now, a lot of Canada has snow cover, but you know, much of the country does not. And this is a little unusual. This time last year there was more snow cover down in the U.S., but it is pretty heavy when you get up across portions of Canada, stretching back up towards the Yukon, back up towards Alaska, and all the way really over the pole. So we do have a lot of snowpack to the north, but compared to last year, we don't have that much getting down into the United States. I mean, it's been relatively mild here so far. So we look at snow cover as one of the things, but the biggest thing we look at is the sea surface temperatures, or what we call the anomaly. Is it warmer or colder than normal? And the big thing this year is this right here. This is called a La Nina, when the water temperatures are cooler than normal off the coast of South America and extending west, and it's actually a very strong La Nina, so that's a major player in our weather. I also watched the northern portion of the Pacific up here. When this is warm, it tends to change the weather patterns for us, but it's starting to cool some, so that's something I factored in as well. We look in the Gulf of Mexico and the eastern seaboard as well. Sometimes a pattern like this can allow us to see some colder intrusions into the U.S. So ocean temperatures, of course, are very important, as is, of course, what's going on with the sun, fall trends, all kinds of different things that we look at to come up with a winter weather pattern. Here's a look at last year. Notice last year we did not have this El Nino. As a matter of fact, it was kind of a neutral signal. So there's a big difference this year. By the way, this was warmer too. So a big difference this year as compared to last. So here we go. Here's my winter outlook. First of all, I think it's going to be an active winter. What I mean is I think us meteorologists are going to be very busy. There's going to be a lot of things going on. So an active winter across the valley, a lot of different patterns that we're going to be looking at. I think the first 2 inches or greater of snowfall will not fall till after December the 12th. Even though I think in early December we're going to get into a little bit of a wintry pattern, I think we'll probably have to wait a while to see some snows that are over about 2 inches. Again this year, no white Christmas. The last white Christmas we had, which is an inch of snow or more on the ground Christmas morning, was 2010. So I think we'll probably be another year without a white Christmas. More what we call clipper systems this year. Clipper systems come out of Canada. They swing down into the area. They generally bring 1 to 3 inches of snow, wind, and some blowing snow. I think it'll be active with clippers this year. A lot of our systems coming out of Canada. Because of that, when those systems move over this area, they also bring a lot of wind. Initially southerly winds, then changing to northerly winds. So I think you're going to find a lot of wind again this winter here in the valley. Those clipper systems also bring temperature swings where it gets really warm and then really cold. And I think this year large temperature swings of 60 degrees or greater. In other words, from the highest temperature in the winter to the coldest, I think we'll see at least a 60-degree swing in those temperatures. Sub-zero days, I think this year we're looking at least 3. About 4 is average, so not quite average, but I think we will drop below the 0 mark probably at least 3 times. Now this is interesting. The coldest part of the winter, I think, looks like from about mid to late December to about mid-January. That's when I think we'll see the coldest of our winter. Of course, that would be centered around Christmas, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Coldest part of the winter itself, the first half. I think when we get into the second half of the winter, it'll ease back and temperatures will be a little warmer in the second half of the winter. Good chance of a temperature lock on the warm side for several days. What I mean is we may go 4, 5, 6 days in a row where temperatures are above normal. We see a stretch of warmer than normal weather, and I think that's what we're looking at this winter, is definitely a bias towards the warmer pattern. Because of that, at least 2 record highs or near record highs for the valley. I didn't see a strong signal for record lows, but record highs, I saw a lot of that in my analog years. The other thing that was big, a couple of strong to severe thunderstorm outbreaks, possibly even a winter tornado. One of the analog years I looked at had a tornado that came out of southern Illinois into our southern counties. So could be active with some severe weather this winter. Also, strong correlation to ice this year, possibly a big event. Many of the years I looked at had a lot of ice in them. February temperatures, I think, are going to be above normal as we start to warm up. However, March we slip back with colder than normal temperatures in March and some snow in March. So I think even though the last part of the winter is warm or warmer, I think it'll be a slow start to spring, unfortunately, once again here in the valley. So here's the way the forecast looks for the temperatures across the area. We're looking at above normal temperatures, and above normal, I'm calling calling for about 32.5 degrees. As far as precipitation, I think above normal also, but not a whole lot. Normal is about 9 inches, forecasting 9.5. That's melted snow and rain. Snowfall forecast below normal, but not by much. Normal is 16.5. I'm forecasting 14.5. And as far as where you can find this, of course, you can go to mywabashvalley.com. Lots of technical information for you, charts and graphs there. And of course, at our sponsors, you see on the bottom of the screen, they'll have flyers, and while they last, some ice scrapers as well, so you can go out to the sponsors and pick it up as well. But that's my forecast for another winter season here in the Valley.